Hey guys, Thunderset here, bringing you more spellbooks. So the first spellbooks I played, a lot of people weren't happy. They wanted more Priestess. They wanted more the traditional way to play. I did try both. I like the Temperance way better. The Temperance just has more depth, gives the deck a little more viability than just the old Suicide way to play spellbooks. But that's the one that's obviously more popular, and I have all the cards, so we might as well. I also might explore the viability of 30 cards. I'm not sure how much, but all that's really changed, we've taken away 3 Temperance, we've added 1 more Priestess, we've added Spellbook of Life, and Library of the Crescent. So not too much has changed. If you get to use your library, that's great. A lot of the times you're still just doing the normal spellbook combos of Secrets into Master into Fate and 1 Banish. You're virtually never using Spellbook of Light, but it can come in handy. And I love Grand Spellbook of Tower. I'm trying to use it whenever possible because we really need that draw power to get to High Priestess of Prophecy. All this deck really needs is a way to search her. It just doesn't work too well. Usually you'll be top decking her with 2 Spellbook cards in your hand. It's super frustrating. But it does have some first turn kills. That's what you guys wanted, were those second turn kills where you just fate the same turn and still get her to kill. The other deck was still doing that in some of the replays. But it's like a traditional means. And now with more Priestess, we're using Show of Nightmares to potentially add another spell card to our hand for no cost, which is really what we need that +1 for to really get her on the field. Because that's the only way to get her on the field. You have to have 3 spellbook cards in your hand. So I'm going to keep trying them. Like I said, I fully invested in spellbooks this box, so I'm going to keep checking every way to play them and all that kind of stuff. We just got a new Taya. We still have all these hero cards I want to check out, so tons of going forward. It's still an interesting archetype. It's not exactly the most fun way to play. It takes a lot of moves just to get 1 Banish going, but spellbooks, guys, we're still trying them out. I still heavily invested, still digging through the box for some other cards. So thanks for sticking with me, and thanks for watching, guys. Alright, here we are facing a Yami Merrick. Let's see what he's got first. We're going second. He's using a Black Rose mat. No extra deck. No extra deck for us either. So starting with our 1 copy of Library is pretty good. It's a +1. Just getting a card in the graveyard. And we do top deck our High Priestess. That means we're going to be able to use her this turn. Here are boys using Witchcrafters, so it shouldn't be too hard. He really should have just played that card first turn, so he could have got that spell card back to his hand. It's going to cost him the duel here. So we're going to normal summon our Magician of Prophecy. We already have 2 Fate and a Library in there. We search our Secrets. Secret searches Master. Master is going to be another Secrets. Search Power. Now we're going to use we're going to Spellbook of Fate, banish that girl. She has a Spellbook of Wisdom. That's going to make her immune to our Spellbook of Fate. So now we're going to special summon our High Priestess. Remember, he's going to have to discard that 1 spell card to negate her effect, use her effect, banish our Fate. He has to throw away his 1 spell card to do that. So now we can Spellbook of Power over his 2800, and he has no spells to adjust his defense. So now we get a search of Secrets with our power. We get a pick at him for 500. He's got 300 in the graveyard for his own Shadow Games, and scoops after a top deck. Great stuff, guys. Okay, here's a Seto Kaiba. See what he's got in store for us. We're going first. So obviously Spellbook has some first turn plays, but you really want to use your Priestess in your second turn. So here we can't really summon our Priestess, so we're gonna just do a real vulnerable play with our Library, and we'll add hopefully either our Secrets or our Tower to really get things going. But of course we had power, so very vulnerable field. But next turn we'll be able to get our Priestess out. Our opponent also sets up a very vulnerable field. Pretty much just memes with an Arisen Gaia and some sort of Blue Eyes deck, so we're not too worried. Get to summon our High Priestess. Normal summon our Blue Boy. Search of Secrets. So now it's just a matter of using a bunch of spells to get to that one banish. We also have so many we get to search our Spellbook of Tower. Always very useful. Now we use that Master to be a Secrets into a Fate. Use that Fate. Banish that monster with the power of the Guardian, no problem. And we use Spellbook of Power for the perfect lethal. Guys, that's pretty much the deck in a nutshell. As long as one banish is going to win you the game. Maybe one banish, one destruct. The deck's going to play. Great stuff, guys. Okay, here we are facing a Sartorius. We're going first. This boy's trying to rank up, no less. Using Master of Destiny. So here we have our High Priestess. We're going to use our Secrets to search our blue boy real quick. And we already have Master. So we should be able to get a tower or something going. We normal summon the blue boy. There's the tower. Now we special summon our Priestess before we get rid of anything else. Use our tower. Use our Masters. To get our Fate. Then we can set 2. And we do have a live banish waiting for us. So our opponent sets 1, summons a Blast Spider. I have my toggle on, so I'm able to use both my Wisdom and my Fate before he can activate his effect. We banish this monster. That's most likely a counter trap, so really all we have to do is stay away from that counter trap. So we're swinging in. He hits us with a Temperance. If both our monsters would have swung perfectly, he would have had too few life points to use his Parsha. So would have been nice, but he did have that Temperance. Here he's normal summoning a Misjudge, setting another card. Probably that other counter trap he had. But he probably has a Desperado too with that whole Blast Spider play. But all we do is treat him like Counter Fairy, guys. We just don't do anything with our deck. We're breaking anyway, really. But all we have to do is swing. Get scared here, but he foolishly aims for our back row. Not really sure why he would do that. Instead of hitting our monster, because I'm still going to just draw one. We'll use our Eternity, because I'm pretty sure that's a Desperado. So now he really has no means to counter us. We get our Spellbook of Secrets. Or sorry, Spellbook of Secrets and the Spellbook of Power. That's a live Fate. Banish the monster past the Desperado and swing for the 3500 lethal. Great stuff, guys. Alright, here we are facing a Jesse. We're going first. Boy's got 30 cards, no extra deck. So I'm kind of picking on some weak decks in this replay, but I'm just going with what the ladder's giving me currently. So we go with Secrets. We also have our Master, which is an easy way to get Tower out. But we're going to go with the Fate first, just to be safe and make the traditional plays. Now we search our Tower. We use our Spellbook of Power just so our Fate's live. Now we have our Tower. Tower's going to be able to return things like Spellbook of Power into our deck, so I can play a little fast and loose with the cards. We are fighting an orchestrated monsters, I should say. Here we summon a blue boy. We have 2 Eternities, but nothing banished. Blue boy's going full World Legacy Clash. Our blue boy, our enemy. Here we search our Secrets. Secrets pulls that power we got right back out with Grand Tower. Now we're going to Fate that monster. It wasn't a machine like I thought. I thought it was Desperado with Orchestrated, but I guess not. So now we're going Master into Eternity again. Add that Secrets right back. Show of Nightmares gets us our power right back too. So we're really recycling this 1 power really well. Knock our opponent down to 2k, but we have a very vulnerable field of just blue boys. Here he's getting the draw power from his Orchestrated Return. He's able to summon a World Legacy Guard Dragon, so we're 0 attack. He hits us for 2600. We have to really ramp up what we're doing. Spellbook of Tower lets us draw into a library, which is a dead card right now. That's okay. Even our Spellbook of Life is a dead card. Now we're going to Master into Secrets. That's our Spellbook of Fate. That card's definitely not dead. Now we're going to use our Eternity to get a Secrets right back. Now we don't even have banished cards. We're doing pretty well. Set that live Spellbook of Fate. He summons a 400 monster, which lets him search another monster. All we have to do is banish the big monster. We'll gain our 400 defense right back, and she can't do a thing, as well as being stuck in attack mode. So we turn an eternity. I'm not really going over the importance of some of these decisions, but they are very important. If we're going to banish all our cards, like Master, our one copy of Master, we have to make sure eternities are staying in our deck. We have 2 in our deck now, it's a little easier, but Spellbook Tower really helps us do that. So returning that eternity to the deck is very important for keeping our plays going forward. Our opponent also gets to do other stuff. We searched the eternity we just returned, guys, or we actually drew it with Spellbook of Power. Spellbook Tower, I should say. So we go into Secrets, Search of Wisdom. We have just a handful of spells. None of our Priestess, though. Where is our Priestess? She's 3 out of 4 of those cards. All because we can't search her, guys. We need to be able to search her when we want her, so we're ready for her. She doesn't just jump on us. What I did there was a Spellbook of Power, and then I did Spellbook of Master to act as a second Spellbook of Power, and just cheese a quick lethal from our board. Great stuff. Alright, here's a Yusei. We're going first. 30 cards over there for our boy. Here we do have our Priestess live with our blue boy. Searches a library. Gotta really take advantage of that card while we're able. We're gonna summon our Priestess at the same time. Because our boy's 30 cards, so we're not really too scared of an OTK or anything. Here we go, Masters, Secrets, or Tower. We get our Secrets, that's really nice. Right into the Master. Master reveals 1, becomes a Secret, searches our Fate. That's 3 in our graveyard, and a live Fate first turn, as well as our girl out. Pretty much as good as the deck gets. Opponent sets 1. We're gonna banish the monster as some sort of crawler. Super random. Here we get Eternity. We get to add a Secrets we had banished back to us. Opponent's got a Fiendish Chain, our Priestess. Now, there's a few ways we can get around that. I'll show you in a moment. But we're gonna slow play this boy. So we're going with the blue boy. We're gonna normal summon him. Now, instead of this Fate, I could have just searched Wisdom. And then I could just Wisdom my Priestess, get rid of that Fiendish Chain with her own effect, and go forward. But with that other face down, I really wanted to focus in on what my opponent was doing. And it turns out he is Shiranui, throws away a Spectral Sword to destroy 1 blue boy. Now I get to Fate his monster again. It's a little safer play. There we go with Spellbook of Secrets. Search our Grand Tower. Now we get to use Eternity. Get our Fate back. Fate's perfectly live. We're going to switch her to defense. Hit him for 500. We have another live Fate. He's down to 2 cards. Now he's played 1. We have our Wisdom. He's trying to Karma Cut us. This is the perfect time for our Wisdom. We're unaffected by traps. And that is the death of our enemy. Just had to wait to chain to his trap. Now we're going to activate her effect to free herself from that Fiendish Chain. But our opponent scoops. So, you know, this deck does what it does, guys. You get that 1 banish. Now you have a boss monster. If she was searchable by Secrets, this deck would be so much better. If she was searchable by Secrets, the same way Blue Boy is, she'd be so fantastic. It'd be great. You could summon her whenever you want. She's just not searchable. You have to draw onto her. Makes Tower very important. All this crazy stuff. Show of Nightmares, very important now. So, this, you know, if you're sold to the old way of playing Spellbooks, this is about as good as it gets. So, I'm not going to say invest in them unless you're really sold on the archetype. And there's other cool stuff in the box to focus on. So maybe try there. But it is viable if you guys like it, don't get me wrong. I like to make fun of the archetype a whole bunch. But it is a viable archetype that can probably cause you. So don't confuse the hate too much. And anyway, thanks for watching, guys.